Hi, I'm Pat's Automotive. You know, one area of automotive service that tends to get neglected, and that's the cooling system on a car. Sometimes this has disastrous consequences too. And there's a couple reasons why this is so important. And one is that cars today are engineered what I call on the edge. And this is especially true in cooling systems. In an effort to lighten the weight of a car, make them more efficient, everything is smaller. And cooling systems today hold about half the coolant that they used to years ago. And a lot of cars now, they get just 1 quart low on coolant and the engine will overheat. Radiators are smaller, more lightweight, so there's not as much room for air. You know, when I was young, growing up in the business, a car could have a radiator that was half plugged and the car would still run fine. But not today. You can't get away with any of that today. Everything has to be perfect in that system. And another problem is the trend towards extended life coolants. All the manufacturers now, in an effort to be more environmentally friendly, are installing extended life coolants. Some of them aren't recommending changing that coolant for 150,000 miles. Well, that might work fine in a laboratory, but it doesn't work well in the real world. These coolants tend to get acidic over time, and when you put acid in that cooling system, it sets up a process called electrolysis that can do a lot of damage to your engine. This electrolysis problem can cause a lot of damage to heater cores. That's the thinnest metal in a car, and it tends to deteriorate the quickest, and they can be very expensive repairs. Also radiators, and then head gaskets also. You know, the electrolysis eats away the aluminum on the head, and it ruins the sealing surface for the head gasket. The head gasket blows, and you got an expensive repair on your hands. So the manufacturer, you know, they may not recommend changing that coolant until 150,000 miles, but we can test it. We can test the coolant for its acidity level. We may find out that it will pay off to change it sooner than that. Here's an example of electrolysis damage to an aluminum cylinder head. You can see how the metal has just been eaten away in these areas. This eventually will cause the head gasket not to seal, and you'll be in for an expensive repair. Now, a cooling system that's neglected, it is also hard on the hoses too. If you can see that rusty buildup in there, this hose is deteriorating from the inside out. It looks perfectly fine on the outside, but the inside's a different story. This hose is ready to pop. If you're driving down the road and this hose goes, the engine overheats, you're in for an expensive repair. Take care of your cooling system.